Order, order. Hello and welcome to Reporters Without Orders, a podcast where we talk about what made news, what didn't, and some things that absolutely shouldn't have. I'm your host, Akanksha Kumar, and joining me today is freelance journalist Devendra Pratap Singh Shekhawat. I believe, Devendra, you're joining us from Bikaner in Rajasthan.
Yes, I'm from Bikaner.
So, Devendra, along with his colleague Anil Tiwari, have recently done a story on the rise in cases of sextortion. The story has appeared recently in Al Jazeera. Anil was also supposed to join us today for this podcast, but owing to some emergency, he couldn't be a part of it. So, we'll have a chat with Devendra regarding this particular story. Also joining us online is my colleague Pratyush Deep from Assam. Hi Pratyush.
Hi, Akanksha. Yeah.
Pratyush has recently done a story for Newslaundry.com that looks at the ramifications of the exercise of delimitation in 14 areas of Assam. So we'll be discussing about this issue, the politics of it, and what it could mean for the state that goes to polls in 2026. Welcome both of you. देवेंद्र शुरुआत आपसे ही करेंगे. देवेंद्र का मैं थोड़ा सा इंट्रोडक्शन दे देती हूँ अपने व्यूअर्स को. एज अ फ्रीलांस जर्नलिस्ट, Devendra has often done some fantastic pieces of reportage and deep dive stories on caste in the state of Rajasthan. His stories have appeared on portals like article14.com and 52.in. Devendra, sabse pehle, one thing which struck me the moment I saw your byline was that you've often been this go-to person who decodes caste for us across Rajasthan, in different regions. How did you decide that you now have to do a story on cases related to sextortion? I mean, from caste to this jump towards basic instincts. I just wanted to understand what drew you into this story.
So, firstly, Akansha, thank you for having me. So, you're true. So, there were, I guess, three or four ideas in my mind related to a caste angle only. So, I was working on a caste related story. It was an investigation. And then I came across a few people who belong to scheduled tribes, and they only told me about these cases of extortion. Then I went to an area which is sort of like Jamtara in Rajasthan, only the Mewat region, and the people are belonging. Basically the people are there from scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and Muslims. So
Right.
they are dominating this game of sextortion across India. Sextortion, cyber fraud, everything. So there are villages there. So from there, I got the idea, and basically, this is my story. So I can't totally get into caste, but with this story, what I'm trying to say is this extortion has now reached to the deeper sections of the society, the poorest. And when you look at the poorest, the data shows that over 50%, when you include a scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, they are in the poor category only, whether you take the BPL or the other caste categories, the economic. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that is what also comes out uh, quite beautifully, I would say, in the story, because you look at the issue through the prism of class, both from the perspective of the victim as well as the perpetrator of the crime. And my first question to you then is that why is it that those belonging to the lowest economic strata suddenly emerge as this vulnerable group who have been the targets of these cases related to sextortion? Like, for instance, even in your story, the very first case study is a truck driver, and that too in the hinterland state of UP from Prayagraj. Uh, why is this class the chosen targets?
So class isn't the chosen target, firstly. It could be anyone. Secondly, the thing is, so during COVID, these guys came up with new modus operandi, and this is basically not sextortion, as one of the expert puts in the story, that this is basically a type of a financial fraud because
Hmm.
sex isn't actually involved in it. So their motto
Hmm.
is, so their basic aim is to just extort money, and they do it by playing psychological game. They threaten the person. So as this guy, the main character of the story, Sham, he puts in the end that why I was chosen at the target. I guess this answers your question. So he basically says, because I belong to the poorest section of the society, I can't complain to anyone, firstly. Secondly, I have access to internet. Everything is new for me, and discussing even sex is different. These people can't discuss sex as we do. It
Hmm.
is a social stigma even for us and much more for them.
Hmm.
Because when I went to their houses or when I met those people, they were actually so this guy Sham, he had some tools for suicide. Few other people's also. They were daily thinking that how we can do suicide. Their Google searches said the same. Okay. Okay. Now coming back to the point is how they were chosen as the target. So basically, it started with a new modus operandi, which is to target through internet, not target through social media by making fake profiles on Facebook, these dating apps, Instagram, through
Hmm.
commenting on the reels, attractive messages, and then on internet websites which you basically browse. So when you will be browsing a website, you'll come to know that in the ad section, you'll see attractive or lucrative message, a seductive message, and then it will lead to you for a website. The third thing, which is more we saw was Telegram. So nowadays, so this is something basically we figured out. Not everyone can access this Netflix or Amazon or Hotstar. So
Right.
basically, they go to Telegram for downloading the pictures. They are subscribed
Hmm.
to few groups, and when they go to those groups or even a few others group, but mostly it happens in those these movie groups, they get some messages, these lucrative messages of these sextortion thing.
So
From there, they are led to it. Yeah.
right. So I think, and also the sense that I got after reading the story is also the fact that yes, of course, there is a deeper penetration of internet in tier 2, tier 3 towns. It has reached villages, but I think digital literacy has not really kept
True.
pace to that effect. And a certain urban class who is accessing maybe dating apps might still be observing some amount of caution, I would say. But for these individuals, that sense of understanding is also missing because they are not really sensitized to handle something like this, and as you said that they are just being drawn to certain groups where there are these links available, which then take them to a particular site or a portal where they
Exactly.
are duped
There are a lot
by
of
the end of
factors in
it.
play, as you pointed out. This is the thing. Digital literacy is there. They use these websites more. Then they get attracted to these reels more. And the most important thing is basically, so this happens through mostly the hit and trial method.
Hmm.
On social media or either on Facebook. Basically, on Facebook, when a person is targeted, the person is targeted through the lavish lifestyle he's showing. But this isn't the case in other platforms. They use the hit and trial method. Recently, the Rajasthan minister was also trapped in the same method. Okay, so this can happen with anyone, but this is more with these persons. They don't know how to act, what to say, and what not.
Right. And also, when you look at this from the perspective of the perpetrator of the crime, and you spoke with someone in the Mewat region who is a scammer, uh, and it's quite interesting to know that he didn't really have to devise like a full-fledged website or, I'm not sure if they're familiar with HTML language to devise an online platform of sorts, where people are directed after watching porn, etc. But it's just some very random links this person has to fabricate to trap his, prospective client. How do you look at this entire thing through the prism of unemployment also, Devin? Because as you said that, Mewat region is an underdeveloped part where I'm assuming there aren't enough job opportunities as well. And that also explains why youngsters are, taking this route to make a living.
So unemployment is basically the reason, and is among the prime reasons. Unemployment is the reason, and due to unemployment, so these guys works in groups. As you might have seen in the movie Jantara, the
Hmm.
whole village is employed. So there are few villages, as the IPS officer also pointed me out. One is dealing with cybercrime, one is dealing with sextortion. So one will be dealing with UPI, one will be dealing with OTP.
Right.
So basically, one or two people are there. They'll then teach it to others, and then they form the groups. Few females are also involved in it, not in sextortion, but in other financial crimes. So they learn it through that. And when you're talking about this education, the literacy, so these guys are have gone to school like fourth standard, fifth standard,
Hmm.
highest to eighth standard. That's it. And then employment is there. No one has gone for job. So when you have unemployment to such a level and undeveloped, and especially casteism is also there, that if you go to some job, you might feel casteist or something. So this is like basically self-employed. They call themselves. कि हमारा
Hmm.
खुद का काम है ये हम किसी के अंडर नहीं है क्योंकि so this guy also told me he said कि there's no casteism here no कि यहाँ कोई जात पात नहीं है मैं जहाँ चाहूँ जिससे चाहूँ आज बात कर सकता हूँ और 2 मिनट में डरा सकता हूँ आपके सीएम को भी डरा दूंगा मिनिस्टर को भी डरा दूंगा सब मुझसे डरेंगे जब मेरी कास्ट बीच में नहीं आएगी
And of
सो
course,
दे
sorry,
या
yeah. Yes, yes, please
या
finish your
प्लीज
point.
so they feel empowered they feel proud of it they feel that their voice is mattering no matter what's the mean
That the ability to be able to threat or rupture someone else's life maybe gives them a high of a different kind. And of course they also enjoy the oblivion that comes with being a part of digital ecosystem where you can hide your identity as well. um
they have
Prat-
actually mastered the game they have mastered the game and they know one thing so this is the thing and then they know that they live in a unity so they basically live in a area where they have their caste population their community's population they are dominated
hmm,
they're the dominating force there so even police have to think twice before entering the area or to taking action against them they do take but they'll get out in a day or two so this guy this I've mentioned he have gone to police station several times but he's fine with it. He's like, अगर अभी पकड़ लेंगे फिर निकल जाएंगे परसों क्या हो जाएगा? So it's
right.
fine because this is
Hmm.
part of our job. Or as if you want to say something formal, then tell it the production cost. 2 दिन का loss हो गया बस और कुछ नहीं है. It's fine. So they've made it a pattern. कि this is our way of self-employment or business.
Pratyush, would you like to weigh in, or if you have any question for Devendra on this?
Yeah, so I was also like, I was meeting somebody and I heard a similar story from Assam. There is a village in Assam where like, it's not sextortion. Basically, they call people saying, ki, I have 1 kg of, gold with me. I found it while digging some land or something like that. And then they call somebody like, from Bihar or to Bihar and Jharkhand, and people thinks, okay, they must have got something. So they will say, ki, how much money you will take? They will say 1 lakh. So when people comes, then the whole village, like, they are in the whole scene. Like once you go to the village, they will give you a first, they will give us like like real gold, like thoda kam amount pe. Once like you go back and take come back again with the whole money, then they will give you fake gold. And then they will call police itself, case somebody is like somebody is going out from our village with a fake gold, so catch him. Then the police and the local organizations work together to catch this person who is a victim. And then they will like take the fake gold, and as well as like take money from the victim as well, and nobody can complain. So as Devendra was saying, like in this kind of sextortions or like this kind of cyber frauds, there's not only one person. I think villages like together, like they work together and they earn a lot of money. Yeah, so yeah, I like I just
So it
related
is
to that.
it is a cartel of a certain kind which
Yeah,
has
not cartel we can say, it's a like kind of कि गांव मतलब पूरा गांव की हर घर में एक लोग उसमें इन्वॉल्व होते हैं.
right. And Section 67 of the Information and Technology Act 2000 penalizes distribution and publication of obscene material in electronic form. Yet, rise in cases of extortion suggests that law enforcement agencies need to do a lot more when it comes to nabbing the culprits and curbing instances of such cybercrime. We will continue to discuss this at length with Devendra and Pratyush. The video part of this podcast ends here. To listen to the complete podcast, log on to newslaundry.com.
The subscription model is something that keeps Newslaundry afloat, but we need hundreds of thousands of people to completely transform the news ecosystem. So you pay for news, so it serves you. So click on the link with this video, subscribe to Newslaundry and pay to keep news free, और गर्व से कहो मेरे खर्च पर आज़ाद है खबरें.